One grainy elevator clip, a single unseen punch, and pop culture tilted on its axis. But what if that 2014 scuffle was only the opening salvo? Just enough heat to fog the glass, while the real fire kept roaring behind closed doors. Over the next few minutes, we're tracing the hidden fracture lines between Beyoncé and her younger sister, Solange, the marriages that folded, the lyrics that bled, and the one rumor about 8-year-old Sir Carter that still refuses to die. Buckle up, because every time the Knowles-Carter camp stays silent, the internet shouts even louder. And tonight, we're stepping into that echo chamber to separate what's fact, what's guesswork, and what's simply nobody's business at all. But don't blink, because the very first clue was caught on a hotel security camera. May 2014, Standard Hotel, New York City. 31 seconds of surveillance footage leaked to TMZ. Solange Knowles lunges at brother-in-law Jay-Z while Beyoncé stands between them, stone still. The grainy frame loops on every screen from Times Square to Tokyo, and a PR statement soon insists the family has moved forward, united. Yet for fans, that elevator never reached the lobby. Instead, it froze mid-floor, leaving Solange branded Beyoncé's vigilante and Jay-Z, the man she felt compelled to check. The clip added a permanent asterisk to their story. If punches fly in public, what exactly erupts in private? And once people learned Solange had always been protective, the internet began digging back through her childhood. But Solange's fury would make a lot more sense 2 years later, when Beyoncé chose music over press conferences and let an entire album bleed yellow citrus and betrayal. Spring 2016. Lemonade drops like a thunderclap. Lines in Sorry, Hold Up, and Daddy Lessons paint a husband who stayed out past midnight, left perfume on his collar, and broke generational promises. Listeners grab magnifying glasses and hunt Becky with the good hair. First suspect, designer Rachel Roy, courtesy of one cryptic Instagram caption. Then rumors pivot to singer Rita Ora, until Ora herself, speaking this summer, describes how Beyoncé actually shielded her from the storm and calls the entire saga completely unfounded. Months after Lemonade, Jay-Z releases 444 and finally admits in a New York Times sit-down that therapy and collaborative songwriting with Beyoncé kept their marriage alive. Seeing pain on someone's face that you caused, that's the hardest thing, he says, confirming what the music had already confessed. While the Carters repurposed heartache into platinum plaques, Solange was busy fighting her own private battles, and those comparisons to her impervious big sister were only sharpening. Solange married hometown sweetheart Daniel Smith at 17, welcomed son Jules that same year, and filed for divorce by 19, later admitting she had to grow up fast, faster than I was ready. A second chance at love came a decade later with video director Alan Ferguson in a chic all-white New Orleans ceremony, but by 2019 she quietly announced another split, calling it a period of transition and deep self-reflection. That same season, she dropped the dreamlike album When I Get Home, a sonic diary of someone piecing herself back together. Media outlets still framed every win against a Beyoncé backdrop, little sister, alt R&B, fringe fashion icon, and more than one critic wondered aloud if perpetual comparison breeds permanent resentment. Whether or not jealousy truly burns, Solange's protective streak isn't fiction. It's documented all the way back to childhood, when 8-year-old Solange once dialed 911 on Beyoncé's teenage boyfriend because she thought he was bad news, a story Beyoncé herself has told with a mix of exasperation and pride. Flash forward to 2017, when Beyoncé quietly gives birth to twins. One daughter shines under stadium lights, one son seems to step back into the wings. Cue the rumor factory. On June 13th, confirmed by Beyoncé's tour stop shout-out this summer in London, Rumi and Sir Carter turned 8. Beyoncé paused her Cowboy Carter set, led 56,000 fans in singing Happy Birthday, and blew them both a kiss. Yet Sir remained offstage, letting Rumi soak up the roar alone. The contrast is striking. Blue Ivy danced through the Renaissance tour at 11. Rumi just set a Billboard record as the youngest female artist to chart thanks to her cameo on Protector. Meanwhile, recent interviews show Sir only through secondhand descriptions. Very quiet, into numbers, not fashion, says grandmother Tina Knowles. Silence is a vacuum, and the internet hates empty space. Which brings us to the speculation you've probably scrolled past at 3 a.m. Remember, everything from here to the next marker lives firmly in rumor territory. Whispers started on niche forums and gossip vlogs claiming that Sir Carter might be on the autism spectrum, pointing to his low public profile and calm demeanor. No evidence or medical confirmation has ever surfaced. Nevertheless, the idea ricocheted through social media, where a well-known rapper even hurled an ableist slur, an incident fans quickly condemned. Family members have never addressed the rumor directly, and reputable outlets have not reported anything concrete. The only on-record comment comes from grandmother Tina Knowles, who simply says Sir prefers numbers over microphones. That mundane detail hasn't stopped creators from turning every rare snapshot into proof, reminding us how easily a privacy choice can morph into online mythology. Which brings us to Solange, the sister who has never hesitated to step in when she thinks Beyoncé's peace is at stake. Insiders say Solange grows anxious whenever family privacy clashes with public curiosity, especially now that Jay-Z is navigating a high-profile civil dispute that keeps his name in the headlines. Friends describe her as protective to a fault, citing childhood stories in which she intervened the moment she sensed her sister's well-being was threatened. That same instinct, sources claim, fuels whispers of a forthcoming memoir or long-form interview where Solange could finally address the swirl of rumors, either to shut them down or to reframe them in a compassionate light. If she speaks, she might clarify whether there is any medical story at all, emphasizing acceptance and ending the guessing game. Deny the speculation outright and call out ableism in celebrity culture. Highlight the emotional toll of constant comparison, showing that the real issue isn't a diagnosis but society's urge to diagnose. Whether Solange ultimately talks or stays silent, one truth stands. Her loyalty to Beyoncé remains unshaken, and history suggests she'll always choose her family's dignity over the internet's demand for details. Why does the world feel entitled to a child's medical chart? Experts in disability studies call this invasive ableism, the urge to diagnose from afar, then demand proof. Add celebrity and the pressure multiplies, especially for Black families whose privacy the media has historically ignored. When Sir ducks a camera flash, some viewers see confirmation of a hidden struggle, others see a kid exercising the right to opt out. One thing is certain, every speculative TikTok about his symptoms racks up ad revenue for someone, and that profit motive often outruns basic empathy. Strip away gossip and only 3 facts remain unshakable. Solange and Beyoncé share an iron-tight bond forged long before fame. We've seen it in an elevator and heard it in songs. Jay-Z confessed infidelity, Beyoncé turned the pain into Grammy Gold, and the couple deliberately chose to stay, a decision that still divides the hive. Sir Carter exists, loved, and occasionally appears in fleeting home movie clips. Anything beyond that, diagnoses, personality traits, alleged conditions, remains unverified chatter. And sometimes mystery is the point. In a culture that demands every detail, the Knowles Carters keep a few locked doors. And each locked door sparks another theory. Maybe the unanswered questions will land in Solange's liner notes someday. Maybe they'll stay forever between family members who've already learned how brutal the spotlight can be. What's undeniable is the pattern. The quieter Beyoncé gets, the louder the world speculates, and the louder Solange's protectiveness seems to roar. Until the day truth or memoir arrives, remember that a single elevator ride captured on blurry security tape still dictates headlines 11 years later. Privacy, it turns out, is the most valuable couture in the Knowles Carter closet, and the rest of us are just peering through the keyhole, hungry for a glimpse we may never deserve. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss any daily upload. Thanks for watching.